Hello, my dears, and warm welcome to this new video. Today, I am focusing on the new Earth energies and how you can actually support this new Earth energies and this new era that we're stepping into. I believe it's a very timely topic and a very important topic to speak about. You may have heard a lot of people in your reality speaking about the new Earth. You may have also heard a lot of people speaking about the fact that we're stepping into a new age. A lot of people call it the Aquarius age. However, you may be less familiar with the fact that there is actually scientific evidence behind the fact that we are truly indeed stepping into a new age for the Earth itself, for the Earth herself, and for humanity. When I say Earth herself, I refer to the fact that across almost all indigenous cultures around the Earth herself, the earth has been seen as a divine feminine aspect of creation, the divine mother. And that's why I refer to the earth as her, she, because she has also, much like the feminine, much like a woman, the earth has the capacity to birth. It's rebirth itself every spring, as we see in the northern temperate and in the southern temperate hemispheres. Um, and she has the capacity to renew herself, to rebirth herself anew every year. Now, when I speak about this new cycle that we're stepping into, there is scientific evidence behind it. So I'm actually going to read this. So the Earth's axis appears to be stable, but it actually wobbles every year. It wobbles very slowly. Not very fast, because otherwise, God forbid, we would be faced with earthquakes and other things that would be terrible. But the Earth's axis wobbles very slowly, very gently, like a spinning top. And it takes Earth's axis actually about 26,000 years to complete a circular wobble. And this wobble is called axial precession. It helps us determine the North Star and a lot of other things. Now, it's very interesting that there's a scientific phenomenon that explains the fact that every 26,000 years, there's this there's this completion of the Earth's wobble around its axis, the Earth wobble axis. And also at the same time, the indigenous cultures referred to this time historically in the evolution of humanity as a time of great change, as a time of great spiritual change and a great rising of consciousness happening on Earth. So stay with me as I share this. It is actually a very exciting time to be on Earth. And I believe personally that we have incarnated, you, my love, have incarnated at this particular point in time because you have something to learn, first of all, for the evolution of your soul, but you also have something to give for humanity's evolution. You have something to offer that is contributing to this great change, great rise in consciousness. We are entering a new era. We've closed a 26,000-year-old chapter and we're opening a new one. Whether you call it the Aquarius age or you call it new Earth energy, I'm really a big fan of both. You cannot deny, one cannot deny the fact that we see a lot of great change happening on Earth. First of all, with the advent of internet, we have in the past 30 years or so, we have way more access than we've ever had to information, faster access to information than ever before, which has made it so that uh, people have also gotten the opportunity with more access to information to have a view of what's happening not only all over the world, but what the wisdom of different cultures is. We've seen many people adopt and become very drawn to Eastern philosophies and Eastern cultures that are very pacifistic and that are very conducive to the personal growth and personal evolution. We've seen the advent of personal growth and coaching happening in the West as well, as a path towards development, personal development, and towards having a more conscious mark on Earth and in the world. What is undeniable is that with the rise of the internet, we have had more unprecedented access to all information that has to do with personal growth, well-being, and also consciousness, the understanding of what consciousness truly is, and the rising of consciousness within ourselves and on Earth. And therefore, I believe that the changes that you're seeing, such as new revolutions happening for the rights of women on Earth, as well as people standing for the rights um, of their neighbors, the rights of immigrants, recognizing that you're an immigrant, a neighbor, is not different than you are. It's also a beautiful divine being, a human being as well. So the rise of this wave of compassion on earth and wave of demanding justice, demanding truth, demanding that we are seen ourselves and that our neighbors are also seen and held in their own journey of evolution. This rise in equality, in fairness, in justice, and a lot of compassion, a lot of love for one another has to do with this also tipping point, scientifically, tipping point of this change of eras. And also, it has to do with the fact that you see the divine feminine rising at a faster rate than ever before on Earth, the divine feminine energy, meaning that if we look back historically in the past, it's only in the early 1900s, so it's been over 2000 years, honestly. It's only in the early 1900s that women have had access to voting, to participating in education, to having a right to be schooled, to have a right to work, to have a right to have their own businesses. And it's more after the Second World War that women gained even more rights and more access to the leisures and um, the freedoms that everybody has access to today. Almost everybody, I mean. So it's this rise in consciousness has coincided with a rebalancing of powers on Earth from a very highly masculine driven, highly dominant type of energy, us against the other, power over others, empires, building the type of logic and mindset that is about building empires. Now we're experiencing a shift with the rise of this beautiful, amazing, divine feminine energy. And I'm not saying one is better than the other. We need both in order to function at our best. With the rise of the divine feminine energy, we see the rise of compassion for one another. We see the rise of justice and truth. We see the rise of right principles on earth. And when this need for action is coupled with an inner world, so the masculine energy is the external action, is externally oriented energy. And when it is coupled with the inner energy, the focus and the reflection on oneself, as well as the reflection on how we can help others. So having this having your emotional body in balance, as well as projecting that balanced emotional body in the world by wanting to help, by wanting to offer love, compassion, support to one another. When the two come into balance and into union, into collaboration, I believe that that's when society on earth will be thriving, will be reaching a place of balance, of thriving, of being in its full capacity, of enlightenment. We will be living in an enlightened society and a society that takes care of the earth. And so I have written down, I want to share with you three ways in which we see this new earth energy rising right now on earth and how we can support it. So number one, how you can support this shift, because the every as usual, every shift happens with sometimes resistance, sometimes commotion, sometimes struggle. So in order to support a more balanced shift, a more balanced transition into this new earth, into this union of the divine feminine and the divine masculine happening on earth and within ourselves and within our lives. In order to support this great shift of the ages, here's three things that you can actually do to support this. Number one is become more aware of your inner world. So this has to do with the divine feminine energy. Become more aware of your inner world and where you need affection, where you need love, where you need more compassion, and where you need more support to actually get your dreams manifested into reality. This is actually what I do. I help my clients rise into their higher potential because I believe we all come here on earth embedded with a unique divine blueprint and a high timeline, a highest timeline that we can actually achieve, we can actually live on if only we learn to follow the inner guidance and we learn to take action towards it, right? When we bring together the feminine and the masculine, we learn to thrive and we learn to live on that highest timeline where we become contributors to the earth and the new earth energies rather than depleters of that energy of the new earth. And so, one amazing thing we can do to actually support this new earth energy is to make time weekly to reflect on your inner world, what's happening inside of you. What are your loving needs and desires that you may have neglected or you may have not taken action upon? And being honest with yourself about that and taking aligned steps. And if you need support, I'm here and I'm going to share my beautiful work. I'm going to share a few links in the description. I'm also running a beautiful free workshop this week. It's called Awakening Your Higher Self Leadership, and it's happening this Friday at 3 p.m. Lisbon, London time. So I hope you can join us. And if you can't join live, you will receive the replay. So don't hesitate to sign up and actually go through this beautiful workshop where I will be providing more guidance on how you can awaken that higher self leadership and learn to be led from within and take aligned steps towards your dreams. So this is strategy number one, in which you can support the new earth energy. So you can do that by becoming aware, self-aware, and also becoming self-responsible. Self-aware is not enough. You have to get to be self-responsible by taking aligned action on your dreams. And the more you do that, the more you will be able to also support others. The more you will become a contributor to this beautiful shift in consciousness happening on earth. Strategy number two, in which you can support this shift of this great shift of ages, is by blessing yourself, blessing others, learning to see what's happening in the world and around you through the eyes of compassion. And that is again the divine feminine coming in. Um, and learning um, to actually look at the world through these eyes, these beautiful eyes of compassion. Um, Learning to see what is actually going on underneath somebody's motives, underneath somebody's actions, what in their upbringing, what in their mindset, their mentality is making them act that way. So, in a way, strategy number two is embracing and honoring the divine feminine in your life and bringing it out to the forefront by having this energy of compassion, Once you learn to hold yourself, you can have compassion for another as well and learn to hold them too. And strategy number three for embracing and supporting these new earth energies and the shift of great ages is learning to consume and produce wisely in a way that does not deplete the resources of the earth. And we see this actually, there's a great movement happening worldwide right now with learning to consume wisely. Um, whether it is the movement towards more supporting more local producers, local agriculture and farmers, um, or looking at how the clothes that you wear or the things that you have in your house, how they have been produced. Have they been produced in a sustainable way, or have they actually damaged the earth, damaged people in some way or another? So we see the rise of brands um, and people that actually create products that have to do with promoting more sustainability on Earth. So look at how you consume, what you consume, and what you produce. And when I say consume, I include there in this category, I include social media. I have curated my social media in a way whereby I only get to see what actually lifts me up rather than brings me down in terms of energy. And I also censor in the sense of like I have I have an inner timer, so to speak, in the sense that I don't overuse time on social media. It's also um, recommended for those of you who are business owners to learn to produce more than you consume in terms of content online. And that's something that I again help business owners and leaders to look at through my programs. And so I hope you enjoyed this video on the rise of the New Earth consciousness and a higher energy, a higher consciousness that we're actually moving into and moving towards. And I want to say that this shift that is happening is unstoppable. That's something very important for you to realize. This shift is unstoppable and it's going to continue happening. The only question is, will it happen in a loving, gentle way for you and others, or will it happen in a rough struggle type of energy way? And I will say this, the struggle and the fight is part of old earth energies. The gentleness, the compassion, the love are part of new earth energies. Which ones are you going to support? That is the question. And I would love for you to comment to leave a comment saying how are you in particular supporting this great shift of ages, this great transition into the new earth. What are some of the things you're doing for that? Because we're here to also support one another in this great shift. And as usual, I will leave a few links in the comments. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed, because there is a free gift. Once you subscribe, I'm going to send you one of my beautiful courses on how you can embody three divine feminine archetypes, the lover, the queen, and the priestess as a woman. And I look forward to seeing you this Friday in my Awaken Your Highest Self Leadership workshop. As well as, since this is the month of February, I want to say that there's a beautiful discount code that you can use only for the month of February, which is the month of self-love. You can use anywhere on my website. It's Love 2026. And I look forward to seeing you in my one-on-ones or in my group programs and benefiting from this beautiful work. This is the time to do that inner work. This is the best time for you to both do your inner work and rise into a higher level of leadership in your life and in the world, because your voice, your wisdom, and your skills are needed right now, my love. So have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you soon.